A dual sport bike is a very unique type of bike in that it doesn't really do anything great, but it does all things pretty well. But how do you know if it's right for you? Well, first off, the difference between a dual sport and an adventure bike is that a dual sport is basically a lightweight version of an adventure bike. So a dual sport is basically a street legal dirt bike, where an adventure bike is kind of a street bike that is capable of doing some light off-road riding. So one reason why you'd want a dual sport bike is if you want to legally ride on and off-road. So maybe you're commuting, maybe you have to ride to the trails, but being able to legally and comfortably ride on pavement, asphalt, as well as dirt, whether it's gravel roads or some light single track. Dual sport bike has the right tires, some DOT tires that have some knobs, so it gets pretty good traction on the pavement and in the dirt. Whereas a street bike, it has street bike tires, so it doesn't have knobs for riding in the dirt or the gravel. And a dirt bike has full knobs, so it's not only illegal for riding on the road, but it's really produces a lot of vibration, and it's really uncomfortable, and you don't have as much control, especially when cornering or braking. So another reason why you want a dual sport bike is you want something to ride to the trails that's fairly lightweight. So this goes back to the comparison between the adventure bike, where something like a Yamaha Tenere or Super Tenere, it can maybe handle some off-road riding, but if you actually want to ride some single track or double track trails and you want something lightweight, maybe you're a beginner or you're just not super strong, having a lightweight street legal dual sport bike makes it easier to handle, especially at lower speeds. It's not as top heavy, so you don't need as much strength to keep it balanced or to lean and turn it. Plus, for off-road riding, you really don't need that much power anyway, where an adventure bike, they have 70, 80, 120 horsepower. You just don't need that much power for riding off-road. You only need 20 to 30 to have fun. And another really common reason why you would want a dual sport bike is you can only choose one bike. Now me, honestly, I've always seen dual sport bikes as kind of I had to settle for this bike or an old man's bike because they're kind of boring in my opinion. But as I've grown up a little bit more, I kind of understand why they are so popular. And for one, if you can only have one bike, whether you're due to limited storage or garage space, or maybe your wife will only let you have one bike and you can't haul your dirt bike to the trails, then being able to ride to the trails maybe after work on a dual sport bike is the best way to go. I personally would rather have a truck and a trailer or a van to haul my trail bike. I want to have a specific bike for the specific job. So a trail bike for trail riding, street bike for street riding. But if you want to cross over and do both, or you're limited to one bike, then a dual sport bike is your best choice. And if you're on a budget and you need to buy a used bike because you can't afford a new one, I have a couple of videos that show you what to look for when buying a used dirt bike or dual sport bike, so that you can know whether the bike is good or not. Check them out here, and then let me know in the comments below. Do you think a dual sport bike is right for you? This is Kelly Fager from Motocross Hideout. Learn more, ride more, so that you can stay safe and have fun for many years to come.